You know, at med school, there's a condition where people can't distinguish human emotions, and the test to see whether a person is suffering or not from that affliction is to show them various human faces and ask them, what emotion do you see? So I ask you, chat, what emotion do you see here? Apparently, he's a harmful individual, dangerous for society, so dangerous, in fact, that he has to be banned from the Twitter platform. So the strike is for Jordan Peterson being a hateful person. He has a human emotion, which is banned on Twitter. Hopefully, if I were elected on the Trust and Safety Council, I would also ban jealousy. A lot of crimes have been committed because of passion. Greed, another human emotion that I would codify. I mean, this is how we would create the perfect human being, just by removing negative emotions. It's also interesting. I mean, have you ever drove a car? Like, boom, 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 boom. Yeah? Have you ever got in a traffic altercation with another person and they said things to you? How many of them do you think they could have been repeated on Twitter? It's so interesting. Like, you can go out and you can say whatever you want. You can write in a publication and you can say whatever you want. But I have seen people on Twitter getting banned for saying, okay, dude. Zuby the blue checkmark, the rapper. He got banned because he said, okay, dude. I mean, there's a compendium now of things that you're not allowed to say. I bet if things keep going this way in the future, people are going to go to the academia to study for 4 years with student debt just so they can learn what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable to say on Twitter. Jordan Peterson is a world-renowned clinical psychologist, an expert in the field, and you're telling me that this person is too dangerous for the internet. Okay, I'm not the one making the rules, but it's just a little bit bizarre. Like, maybe the people making the rules need to take a step back and be like, you know, it is Jordan Peterson and he's an old man. Like, really, he is a problem now. But we have seen how the mods at Twitter operate. There have been leaked recordings with them talking about wanting to ban libs of TikTok, but unable to due to Elon Musk wanting to purchase Twitter and things being a little bit iffy right now. But what they're doing is, like, they're trying to find an excuse. They're like, come on, Jordan. Come on, just say it. Say it, Jordan. And I am willing to bet, when he posted that tweet, the mods were smiling. I bet they were like, yes, he said it. Now we can push. But I really love the mentality behind this, right? Like, Twitter doesn't believe that adults can disagree with what Jordan Peterson said. Like, the only way to protect people from Jordan Peterson is by banning. Like, there's no other, like, you as a human being, you are incapable of disagreeing with what Jordan Peterson said, so Twitter has to step in and prevent you from reading that tweet. Isn't that a little bit condescending? I'm just wondering, for the Twitter users. So what did he say? Well, apparently, remember when Pride was a sin and Ellen Page just had their breast removed by a criminal physician? I mean, I don't know if that's misgendering. It's more like he is disagreeing with the scientific consensus regarding the correct treatment for gender dysphoria. I guess, like, this is how you can classify it. And he is insulting the doctor. But yeah, I wouldn't say this is misgendering. But again, I'm not an educated moderator working at the Trust and Safety Council at Twitter. So who knows? But what I do know is that Jordan Peterson is not going to remove that tweet, because this is what Twitter does to you. When it issues a strike, it asks you to remove it. So they don't agree with the tweet and you have to remove it. My God, it's so childish. But I guess, like, he wanted to get off the platform for a while now, because he's been saying for a while that Twitter is negatively affecting his health. I guess despite the Council of Trust and Safety, it doesn't make him feel very safe on the platform. And by the way, he got a lot of abuse when he cried. Do you guys remember that? Like, he cried at an interview saying that he's getting a lot of harassment on Twitter and it's very difficult to deal with that. So he started crying and he got a wave of abuse for crying, which I found very interesting, because the same people that say, oh, toxic masculinity is the fact that men suppress their emotions and men aren't more emotional. And then they see Jordan Peterson crying and they attacked him for it. And I was, yeah, I mean, this is why men don't cry. I made a video saying this is why men don't cry. Because when a man cries, he doesn't get sympathy. He shows weakness and other people attack him even more. Like sharks in the water. So Jordan Peterson crying explained why toxic masculinity exists. It's almost like the same people encouraging men to cry are doing so not because they want to show compassion, but because they're interested in seeing what makes a person vulnerable so they can target that aspect. I'm like, okay, well, what upsets Jordan Peterson the most? Getting abuse on Twitter. Alright, well, let's give him more. Horrible. But what's also interesting is that I've noticed a lot of harassment towards Count Dankula, towards Judge Clarence Thomas, and other Supreme Court judges. And the people doing the harassment, which is quite vile, by the way. Like, I have seen racism that I haven't seen on the internet since 2016. I mean, like, just gamer words and then all of the nastiest stuff. Like, I have seen that. Nothing is happening to those people. Like, the Trust and Safety Council, completely non-responsive. I guess they probably don't know about it. But with this, immediately, like, bam. In a way, it's good, because especially with Peterson, like, he wanted to leave the platform anyway, and being such a high-profile person, it, how the left likes to say, sparks a conversation. Sparks a conversation. Like, is the terms of service not gotten to the point where they're a little bit too extreme? I mean, again, like a compendium of things you're not allowed to say. Can we not just from a compendium make it into a brochure? Like, sure, you know, like, maybe some things should still be bad. But like, let's have a brochure instead. Let's have something easy to read. Where people know exactly what they're not allowed to say. That have people, like, that just replied, okay, dude. Which is a gender-neutral term, by the way, like, dude. And that is a problem now. Like, that requires people getting banned. I mean, whatever. Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to see if Elon Musk actually purchases Twitter. Because, the change in culture is going to be monumental. Like, to actually have a platform where it's going to be like the way internet was at 2016. Okay? Like, I don't want the internet at 2014, but at least like 2016 internet, where I guarantee to you Jordan Peterson would not have gotten banned for this. 4 years ago, he would not have gotten banned for this. And again, like, I'm not saying you should agree with him. I'm not saying that what he said is gospel. But what I am saying is that whatever happened with disagreement, now there are no more two sides of the same issue, it's just the correct side and misinformation. I'm genuinely curious if the American identitarian left even knows how to persuade people anymore, like convince them of an argument. Because all I think they have right now is censorship. Oh, you don't agree? Bad. Oh, you don't agree? Community guidelines strike. Oh, you don't agree? Censored. That's it. Which is probably why they're really upset about the SCOTUS decision, because now it's going to have to go to the states, and they're going to have a democratic discussion and conversation, and they probably don't even know how. They don't even know how to approach that. Because all they know is like, okay, well, there's the correct truth, and then there's misinformation. Which is why you have a compendium of things you're not allowed to talk about. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.